The November air bit with a ferocity that even the thick wool of James's sweater couldn't fully deflect. 17 raccoons, a writhing, masked tide of fur and mischief, surrounded him. They were a warm, pungent, surprisingly heavy blanket, pressing in from all sides. It was a comical sight, a man drowning in a sea of raccoons, each tiny paw reaching for a morsel of the overflowing dog food bowl on the ground. James chuckled, a low rumble in his chest, a sound barely audible above the rustling of fur and the crunching of kibble. This wasn't unusual. For 24 years, since the night his wife, Sarah, had found that injured raccoon by the side of the road, his life had been punctuated by the rhythmic patter of tiny paws and the expectant stares of masked faces. Sarah, vibrant and fiercely loving, had insisted on nursing the creature back to health, an act that snowballed into a decades-long commitment to the local raccoon population. In 2003, as cancer tightened its icy grip, Sarah's last words weren't about her own mortality, but about the welfare of her furry dependents. "Take care of the raccoons, James," she'd whispered, her voice barely a breath, "the cats." And Mom. A strange trio, perhaps, but James honored his vow with unwavering dedication. His mother, thankfully, had passed peacefully a year later. Now, with the cats purring contentedly indoors and the memory of his wife a constant, comforting ache in his heart, he sat each evening, a silent king amidst his furry subjects. Their insistent scratching at the windows as dusk deepened was a familiar, comforting serenade. He'd often joked that they were better at keeping to a schedule than he was. "They leave in the fall," he'd often explained to the curious neighbors, his voice gentle but firm. "To find new territory. They're not my pets. They usually forage, this is just supplemental." But even James knew that wasn't entirely true. This year, the cold had come early, viciously, and the raccoons, usually resourceful, seemed more reliant on his generosity than ever before. He watched as the last raccoon, a particularly bold, scarred specimen he'd nicknamed Bandit, finished his meal. A wave of exhaustion washed over James. The weight of the raccoons, the years of responsibility, the constant ache of missing Sarah. It all pressed down on him. He reached for his walking stick, the familiar weight grounding him. As he stood, a flash of movement caught his eye. Nestled beneath the mass of raccoons, half buried in the dog food, was something small, something different. It wasn't fur. It was a tiny, woolen mitten, its threads worn and faded, a child's mitten. A gasp escaped James's lips. Sarah had often made mittens for the neighborhood children. This one, impossibly, was identical to the ones she made. Tears stung his eyes, blurring the sight of the raccoons already scattering into the encroaching darkness. It wasn't a raccoon that had come to him this night, it was a message. A tender whisper across 2 decades. A reminder of a love that refused to be forgotten.